Welcome to View the Right Thing, and that is Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, two of the most important players in NBA history. Their struggle for greatness was iconic, and for a league on life support, was perfectly made for TV at a time when America would rather watch a rerun of Dallas than a professional basketball game. But just 3 years after these guys hit the league, its ratings skyrocketed and the NBA Finals started doing World Series numbers. And if I haven't made it clear yet, these boys saved the league. But ironically, they did it by putting it in a stranglehold. What else is there to make of the fact that either Larry Bird or Magic Johnson appeared in the NBA championships every year of the decade, and 3 of those times was against each other? Of the 10 MVPs doled out in the 80s, these two claimed 5. Their run was historic, and greatness like that leaves a lot of questions. Like, what are the odds they'd occupy the same space and time, or how many titles could one have won without the other? But come on. Really, you know there's only one question that matters when it comes to these two. Who is the best? So today we're going to use that as an excuse to talk about Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, breaking down their game, highlights and stats and legends to answer just that question. But before we talk about who's better, we're going to save some time and start off by talking about how they're alike. Because for two polar opposites, their games were freakishly similar. Both are 6'9"-ish, gifted but not jump out the gym athletes. But what they lacked in top-end athleticism, they made up for in court vision and passing skills that made them seem like they were psychics out there. Now that's their similarities, but what really makes them different is their rivalry. Look, normally greatness sits alone. If you're Tiger Woods, the best rival you get is Phil Mickelson. And if you're Michael Jordan, the best you get is everybody else. The fact is, true greatness considers competition a basic food group, and that's why you don't get to see many real rivalries as a fan. But people knew Magic and Bird were different right away, because when Magic Johnson took a Michigan State team that only won 10 games the year before to the Elite Eight, the country was put on notice. And when Bird turned the underdog Indiana State Sycamores, a squad that only had won 12 games the 2 seasons before, into a powerhouse that went 81-13 in the 3 years that he played, that notice came due, and everything came to a head in '79 when Bird powered those same Sycamores to an improbable, undefeated season and straight into the NCAA championship's last game. There was just one more team to beat before they achieved perfection. Unfortunately for Larry, that last team of course was Magic and his Spartans. In the highest rated game in college basketball history, Magic got the win and was awarded the Final Four MVP. But it was Larry Bird who won College Player of the Year, and with that, the feud was set. Not only that, this is the same year that ESPN was born, y'all. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson entered the NBA as two made-for-TV phenoms right at a time when TV sports were set to explode. But who were the two dudes who pulled the pin? Well, that Larry Bird guy? He's just one of the greatest hustle players ever to lace him up. His freakish intangibles, skills, and instincts make prime Larry Bird the greatest small forward of all time, and the best Celtic to ever rock the jersey. So right out of the box, he's the greatest player from arguably the NBA's greatest franchise. And if you want to know more about his highlights and fights in detail, hit that box right there and come on back. But for the rest of y'all, my best argument for Larry Bird is only 2 words: Michael Jordan. Because whatever you think about the greatness of the Black Cat, you need to know that Larry Legend basically matches him statistically. Over the course of their careers, MJ has the edge in points per game, and Bird has more rebounds, but other than that, it's like greatness looking at a mirror. Offensive percentages, basically the same. Defensive, nearly the same. Although anyone who thinks that Bird was the man-to-man defender that MJ was is crazy. Larry Legend won the MVP 3 straight times, y'all, and came in second 3 more. And as to that Magic dude, he was revolutionary, a basketball genius, and simply the best point guard to ever play the game. And I'm making a video that goes into detail about his game, and when it's done, you can hit the box right there and check it out. But for now, just know that his absolute control of the ball made him one of the best playmakers in NBA history. But my best argument for Magic Johnson involves his versatility. Not only is he one of the best scoring and rebounding point guards of all time, but he also led the league in steals twice. And he didn't invent the triple-double, but he is literally the reason they came up with it. Over the course of his career, Johnson put up 138 of them. And in a league that seems to think that the concept of positionless basketball is new, Magic Johnson was redefining positions in the 80s. Like that time that Magic Johnson started at center in Game 6 of the NBA Finals and notched a 42-point triple-double and his first championship ring for his troubles. But, not to be outdone, Larry Bird went ahead and won the championship the next year. That's why it's hard to separate these two. There's a lot of that. They basically spent their entire career shadow boxing each other. They played 18 regular season games and 3 final series against each other. Magic has the edge in wins, snagging 11 and 2 of the 3 chips. But when it comes to their league awards, the duo both have trophy cases that are nearly identical and ridiculously full. So who's better? I honestly think there's 3 good faith answers here, and before you think that this is a cop-out, don't trip. I'm going to share my take at the end. If you think basketball is best as a platform for the display of personal artistry and talent, then Bird has got to be the pick. He is a better pure player than Magic. He did more with less, and unlike Magic, he was the primary reason that his teams even had a prayer. But if basketball to you is all about the energy and synergy of a machine that's greater than the sum of its parts, the reward for which is winning and more winning, then Magic is your guy, my guy. Because while Bird has a better record against almost any other star of the era, including Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson has a better record against him. He's beaten Larry Bird at every level. If there's ever an NBA Seniors League, Magic Johnson would probably beat him there too. But I think there's a third argument that I see, and it's where I land on this one. Put directly, I think Larry Bird is a more talented basketball player than Magic Johnson. He's easily a top 10 player of all time. But I don't think that makes him a better player than Magic Johnson. And that's because, honestly, we barely got the chance to see the best Larry Bird. It's wild to me that as good as Larry Legend was, we got the worst timeline version. What about the timeline where Bird doesn't hurt his back? How many chips does he win there? Or what if Len Bias didn't die in 86 or McHale had 2 good feet in 87? How many rings do the Lakers get in a timeline where Larry Bird had more help? There's so many ifs in Larry's career, but not many when it comes to Johnson. From the moment he first picked up a ball, the level of expectation for this guy went beyond reality. That's why they called him Magic. And like Magic, he exceeded them all. When it comes to the question of Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson, what we're really talking about is a question of style, not quality. But in this timeline, Magic Johnson's extended run of excellence gives him the slightest nod over Larry Bird. Also, Bird may have had a better game, but Magic had a bigger impact on it. See, the goal of most modern hoopers these days is to be a positionless player mogul media brand, and for better or worse, Magic is the blueprint for all of that. Personally, I think when you're dealing with 2 of the top 10 or 12 players of all time, the proof of their greatness ain't in the answers. You'll never find proof that one is better than the other there. The proof of their greatness is in the questions. It's in the fact that after all these years, these two were so great that we're all still not quite sure. If you like the content, hit that like and subscribe, then ring the bell and leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching View the Right Thing. Peace.